Governor Ritter is a principled leader, a man of convictions, the type of leader who does what he believes is the right thing to do for the state of Colorado. We want our children to have a better life, a better future. And that's why we are committed to working very hard every day, working on the phones, knocking on doors to re-elect Governor Bill Ritter as our governor of the state of Colorado.
I had the opportunity to work with Governor Ritter when he was still the DA in Denver. When he first was elected, he set a very ambitious platform for education. He wanted to cut the dropout rate in half. He wanted to reduce the achievement gap, and he wanted to double the number of post-secondary opportunities for all children in Colorado. And this is a governor who put his money behind his words. And so he established several commissions, the P20 commission, that led to bills that were passed over the last couple of legislative sessions that have made a meaningful difference in the lives of kids in Colorado. And now our state is poised to be one of the few states that really aligns with race to the top dollars. And we really have a big opportunity for our state to get millions of dollars to really start making a substantial difference in the lives of our children.
Bill Ritter is a committed person for the state of Colorado and for the citizens of this great state. He looks at the issues, he looks at the people, and he calls it like it is. You may not agree with him on these issues. I know I haven't all the time. I know labor hasn't all the time. But I know the people of this state can thank their lucky stars because they have a man who is in charge of this state who will make the tough decisions on the budget and for the people of this state on education, on the environment, but more in particularly for the Hispanics of this state of Colorado. He has talked to us, he listens to us, he works with us, and he agrees with us most of the time. But all the time, no. But you don't need all the time agreement. I would rather have somebody there with me 90% of the time who's a Democrat than a Republican who is 100% against me. And that's what we have to look for, people. That's why it's so crucial that we as Hispanics get behind Bill Ritter and his re-election campaign. On behalf of John Salazar, who could not make it, he asked me to convey to all of us, all of you, and the people of this state to let us get behind the man who will lead this state back to a great state as it was and will continue to be, but who will truly give us honest government the way it has been and should be. I now give you Bill Ritter.
So thank you very much for coming today, and to the people behind me, I would say I'm tremendously humbled. If you know this group that's assembled here today, they are people who have really given their life's work to improving this state. And many of them have a focus on the Latino community, but I would say by and large these people share the vision that I have, the value that I have, is that we are best when we all move forward together. It's an honor to stand with a group of Latino leaders that have this many years of work on behalf of the state, on behalf of the people of the state, and to just look at you and tell you that I thank you and that I am truly humbled by that. And what I will tell you is they have these deep roots that provide a commitment to the people of the state and to moving the state forward and ensuring that it remains a great place. But it won't remain a great place unless everybody is able to move forward together. And that's the vision that I think we share from the very beginning when we articulated in 2006 the Colorado Promise. The Colorado Promise was about fulfilling the promise of this state to everybody, and not just to one group or another group or trying to divide the haves and the have-nots. It was about everybody. And that's the vision that we share, and it's born of my own sense of being raised here, of having a mother that has 32 grandkids and another 13 great-grandkids here, and their deep roots in this state and this community. And we don't get that without a vision. We don't get to where we need to get to in moving the state forward without this shared vision. And that vision is about economic opportunity for all, not just economic opportunity for some, but for all, And in 21st century economic opportunity, we've had some great job announcements in the last couple of days, but those things that we go out and affirmatively do to bring 21st century industries here or grow them here, those are jobs that should be available to everybody. And that's our vision. We don't get there without an education system that adequately educates everybody and that does our level best to help them reach their God-given potential. And to Teresa's remarks, we've always said education is fundamental to all of the successes that we'll have in this state. Education and the things that we can do as it relates to education reform are fundamental to it. There's a lot of contrast between myself and the person who's sort of the nominal Republican opponent in this race, although there's still two of them in it, but there's a lot of contrast. If you look at the contract with Colorado and their notion that education should be about a focus on homeschooling or a focus on, these different kinds of programs that at the end of the day don't really go in and meaningfully reform education. I'm an agnostic about what we do to really reform the education system as long as it's about student learning. And at the end of the day, I think this group behind me again shares this notion. It has to be about student learning, and the things that we've done to attack the dropout rate, to attack the achievement gap, to look at the graduation rates and know that we can double the number of diploma certificates, those things are about building an education system that provides for an opportunity for all. Final thing I'll say is on healthcare reform. We didn't wait for the federal government to pass healthcare reform. We passed the Healthcare Affordability Act last year. There's going to be another 100,000 people who will be insured as a result of that. Latinos and Latinas are disproportionately uninsured. If you go into the San Luis Valley, their uninsurance rate is at about 1 out of every 4 people, heavily Latino or Latina. When we do the things that we do to tackle big problems, we do them for everybody in the state, but there is a disproportionate benefit oftentimes to people from communities of color. And so again, it's about thinking of ways to build the safety net. It's about thinking of ways to tackle problems that matter to all the people. And at the end of the day, if you look again at the passion and the compassion standing behind me for the Latino community, I'm humbled by it, but I believe that we're all here together today because we share a vision that isn't about a race, it isn't about ethnicity. At the end of the day, it's about people and it's about the promise of the state. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for part.
I'm Alexis Marsh, and I'm president of the Aurora Campus Democrats. I support Governor Ritter because he has made a difference in higher education. He's really put forth the effort to make sure if tuition increases, it increases most fairly. He's also done a bunch with fast tracks and different issues that I'm really passionate about. I think he's done a very good job. I think it's most important to re-elect Governor Ritter. I just moved into 5 Points, and I think that's an area that's going to be benefited by fast tracks. I think that's an important thing to keep going, and I'm looking forward for that he's going to work on that. I also think that higher ed needs to be supported by somebody who's going to work with the campuses and not just cut money because it's easy. Thank you for your support here on campus.
My name is Scott Bolt. I am a student at Metro State. I'm also the president of my neighborhood organization in Godsman. I like Governor Ritter for his forward-thinking and green energy. The fact that 2 plants have opened in Brighton that do wind power, I think that needs to be very high importance, especially in the state of Colorado. We have lots of natural energy, either through solar or wind, that I think needs to be pursued in the future and get us off the Excel grid, so to speak. He's only been in 1 term. Certainly very trying 4 years, not only for the Ritter administration, but the United States in general. I believe he deserves a second term to continue forward with the programs that he's trying to do. And I don't believe that you can accomplish much of anything in the first 4 years. It's basically set things in progress, programs, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then move from there and see what things go forward.